I am a 35M been married for 10 years. Throughout our marriage, I've been the sole breadwinner, while my wife has been a stay-at-home mom because she couldn't find work in her field. Due to my hectic work schedule, we've streamlined our finances. I transfer a fixed amount monthly to her account to cover all our household expenses such as groceries, bills, and the kids' school costs. Additionally, I provide a separate sum for her personal use, shopping, going out, or just saving. She has full discretion over these funds, and any leftover money from the household budget is hers to keep or spend, no questions asked. For her larger personal expenses and all her car expenses, she uses my credit card, which she always has access to. She has always struggled with her role as a stay-at-home mom, feeling she should instead be working. I've done everything possible to support her career aspirations, including financing trainings, hiring housekeepers to free up her time, and supporting her through a 6-year PhD program, which she ultimately did not complete. She remained torn between the home responsibilities and her desire to work, which resulted in the household and our children's care being mostly neglected. She finally landed a job that is in another city and which requires a 4-hour commute and pays just enough to cover her travel costs, personal needs, and the salary for the full-time maid she needed to hire. Essentially, she nets zero from her paycheck. Given her decision to accept this job despite its financial impracticality and the added strain on our household management, I've decided to only cover our essential house expenses, rent, groceries, bills, school, etc., but not her personal expenses. I believe she should handle her own financial responsibilities under these circumstances. I've been working tirelessly in 2 jobs for 10 years to provide a comfortable life, allowing her the luxury of choosing what she wanted to do, whether to stay at home or find a job. Unfortunately, we haven't reaped the benefits of her being a stay-at-home mom nor gained any financial advantage from her being employed. At this point, I'm frustrated with the situation and feel it's unfair to me. Am I the a-hole here for expecting her to manage her finances after she chose this job? I'm also starting to think that this arrangement isn't working for our marriage, and I'm concerned it might lead to us separating. What do you think? Comment 1. The fact that she pursued a PhD for 6 years and didn't walk away with a degree and now she's accepted a job that hurts her family in more ways than one, 4-hour commute, no additional income, etc., make it sound like your wife isn't committed to adult decisions. Either that or she's gotten too comfortable with depending on you for money while also saying she wants a job. She either expects you to continue working 2 jobs forever to support her or she thinks jobs are for fun. Having her pay for her own life will help her see the struggle you endure and to see why people work in the first place. Win-win. Comment 2. I wouldn't think only about whether she's making a lot of money in this job, but also about the future. Could this job lead to higher paying and closer to home opportunities afterwards? Staying out of the workforce long-term compounds, and women often have to take a lower paying and undesirable job to get back in. Regardless, you're clearly holding a lot of resentment about this, and this is something you and your wife need to talk about together. It sounds like you both have extremely busy lives right now, and that's putting a strain on the relationship and the family. The solution to that is not necessarily for her to quit her job or you to punish her, though. Comment 3. Will the job lead to a better paying job closer? I mean, she probably has a massive gap in her resume and her daily routine was probably not set to work mode. That's a massive change. Chances are she will get sick of the daily travel on her own and look for a closer job by default due to the inconvenience. In the meantime, she is gearing up to be in the workforce once again and getting experience. It's all win when you look at it from that perspective. I would be massively supportive. Hi everyone. For context, I, 18F, got into the University of Virginia, UVA, and the College of William and Mary, W&M. UVA was one of my top schools for the longest time because I thought it was prestigious and it was pretty good for business, since that is what I am majoring in. However, I applied to other schools that I would go to besides UVA, in case I had gotten rejected. I mainly applied to schools within my state and nearby states. I got into UVA, And that was exciting. On the contrary, the price tag was not attractive. I would have to pay tens of thousands of dollars per year to go to UVA. On the other hand, I got accepted to W&M with a full ride. And a research grant, which would look very good to graduate schools and potential jobs. Additionally, I would get the newest dorms available because I got the specific research grant. I told my parents my options and they still want me to go to UVA because it is better for business. My parents said not to worry about money, but I do not want to be financially tied to them because they might take away my tuition or have control over my life since they are quite religious and conservative. I toured both campuses, and I honestly liked W&M better because it was less busy compared to UVA. And no student debt. Also, everyone was more helpful and friendly to me at W&M when I toured, and the tour was actually led by someone whereas UVA's tour was self-led. Overall, I just like the feeling of W&M better. Now my parents are very disappointed in me in choosing W&M and trying to get me to change my decision. They are saying that I am selfish, careless, and too young to be making major life decisions. However, I asked all of my counselors, teachers, my smartest peers, and just about everyone said they would choose W&M, given my decisions. I tried to explain to my parents that undergrad does not matter, and that I'll go to business school anyways after college/university. They are still firm on their decision because they are immigrants who worked hard to give me the best possibilities, and to take the largest opportunity, which is UVA. They say money isn't a problem, but I am not comfortable with the decision. They keep sending me statistics about how UVA is ranked higher and all of that, and are guilt-tripping me trying to change my mind. They have been crying non-stop about my decision. I haven't committed yet, but honestly I think they just want bragging rights that I go to UVA. So, AITA for choosing to go to my choice of university/college over my parents' preferences? Any help would be appreciated because they won't support me anymore and I will be disowned if I go through with my decision. Thank you. Comment 1. NTA. Thomas Jefferson went to William and Mary. It is a prestigious school. It's a great choice for all the reasons you stated. No student debt is fantastic. Now you get to set your boundaries and do life the way you want and not the way your parents want. Let them lament. This is your life. It's crazy that they would disown you over this. That's a threat/ultimatum that you do need to consider. If you do give in to them, then they will use that threat over you for the rest of your life. You may need to stand up to them now and go through a few years of turmoil. I'm so sorry they are putting you in this position. Comment 2. NTA. If I'm a hiring manager and you told me you passed up full-price UVA and went to W&M on full scholarship, I'm thinking to myself, awesome, someone who isn't a total idiot. I hope they will be a good fit. That's just me though. Comment 3. NTA. All of your reasoning is sound. You like the school better. You're absolutely right that your undergrad isn't as important in terms of prestige as your graduate program, and a full ride to college is a literal dream that you'll be so glad you took when all of your friends are talking about their loans in 5 years. You're absolutely right to be concerned about tying your future debt to your parents' whims if they can't even let you make such an obvious choice without freaking out. A few years ago, my wife and I got a letter from a woman claiming to be my wife's daughter, Laurel, who wanted to meet with her. She'd told me that she'd given up a child for adoption when she was young, so I was expecting that this might happen. What I didn't expect was that the truth was there was never any adoption. She just left the baby with the father and bailed. The worst thing about this is that when Laurel was 12, she wrote my wife begging for help. Her response was to write her the nastiest reply imaginable. I've since had a chance to read it, that basically blamed her for her problems and threatened her against contacting her again and ruining her family. I couldn't believe it. Not only has she been lying this whole time, but she actively had contact and chose to abandon her a second time while we were married. This has all been an emotional dumpster fire, but that's an issue of its own. We've been in contact and building a relationship for the last few years. So much therapy. So far, we've kept this all away from our kids. At this point, it's been a few years, and there's interest in having everyone meet. Thing is, between my wife and Laurel, they've come to an agreement to tell the kids and everyone else in the family that Laurel is a family friend. Absolutely not. I'm sick of the lying. What they call each other is their own deal, and I don't expect that to change, but I'm not lying anymore. I don't like lying to my kids as a policy, but lying to them about who's related to them and who isn't is dangerous. I only want them meeting if we can tell them the truth. Now I'm getting into it with my wife, Laurel, and my parents, the only outside people who know. They say I should go along with it not for my wife's sake but for Laurel's. I understand why she would want that, but I don't think I care anymore. The kids need to know. Comment 1. NTA The fallout from lying will be far worse than telling the truth upfront if she's ever found out. And you'll be just as guilty as her in your kids' eyes for lying by omission. If she's that ashamed, then she shouldn't be bringing Laurel round the family. Comment 2. NTA, I would chew her ass out for treating her own daughter this way. If it were me, then she would 1. Apologize to the kid and beg her to forgive her for being this horrible. 2. Acknowledge her as our daughter, much less hers. 3. Give her a place to be a normal kid and do the best we can for her, and if she didn't do all 3, then I'd file for divorce and try my best to get full custody of the kids. No one needs someone that toxic in their lives. OP comment. The letters from 2002 are honestly the worst part of this. I cannot believe she refused to do anything for her own daughter after what she wrote her, and she tried to hide behind me? I would never have encouraged her to do this. I don't know that Laurel wants to be anyone's daughter at this point. She's in her 30s now. Only one of my wife and I's kids is under 18. Custody isn't really an issue now. Me 18M. My mom likes inviting me and my older sister, who lives on her own, out to eat at a Chinese buffet once or twice a year. For context, my mom and sister are both a bit overweight and I'm thinner. My mom has a habit of loading everything she sees at the buffet on her plate because she wants to taste everything. Then she usually finds she doesn't like some stuff, although she put a lot on her plate at once, or gets too full to finish. Since I was young, she would always put her food she didn't finish on my plate and tell me to finish it since I'm young and skinny and I'll be fine. Last time we went, I actually ate too much and felt sick after, so I decided to eat less this time. Right when we went to pick our food, my mom was looking at what I was grabbing and said, "Why wasn't I taking more? It's not worth the price if I don't take as much as I can." I said if I was still hungry I could get more, but she already seemed annoyed. Then we ate and I finished what was on my plate and didn't want to go for a second round. I felt I had enough. My mom argued with me for about 5 minutes, telling me to go with her to get more food or else it's not going to feel like a family meal. I tried politely telling her I didn't want to eat any more. My sister was silent through this all. Finally they went to get more food and my mom came back with another full plate. As I expected, she finished less than half of the second plate she got. She said she didn't want more because she still wanted to get dessert and told me to have the rest. I declined and said I was full and she shouldn't load up her plate so much. She got very mad at this and said I was embarrassing her and to just eat it because I've always ate more before and I was just trying to embarrass her. She said everything on the restaurant was staring at us because of the argument I started and that I was making her look like a fat pig by not eating more, and she said didn't know why I was doing this because she so nicely was getting us this nice meal. I told her then I would pay for my own food if she's that upset, and she said I was being cruel and manipulative and she didn't know why I had such an attitude problem today. Anyway, she finally saw I didn't want to dig through her leftovers and gave up and got some cake and ice cream for dessert. She didn't talk to me for the rest of the day. Later, after my sister left, she sent me a text saying I was being very selfish and ruined our family outing and I should have just done what my mom wanted to keep peace and remember she might not be around much longer. My mom is in her early 50s. So do you think I was in the wrong in this? Comment 1. NTA Your mother wouldn't listen to what you clearly told her, because in her mind you will always be the garbage disposal for any food she can't/doesn't want to eat herself. What you want doesn't come into it. It never did. Your sister didn't offer to eat the leftovers, did she? She didn't care about saving her mom's face by sacrificing her own comfort. I think you need to tell your mother that you're serious. You can no longer eat as much as you could before and you aren't going to force yourself. She has to listen to what you say in regard to not wanting more food in future. Tell your sister if she thinks this needs doing, you are passing the baton, having paid your dues in full over the years. If she can open her mouth to criticize you, she can put some of mom's leftovers in it instead. You don't want to hear it. Comment 2. Sis was just sick of hearing their mother witch at her. Sos want OP to cave to his mother's unreasonable demands because it makes sister's life easier. There is an essay about rocking the boat. If anyone can find and link it, OP may find it helpful. OP has had enough of caving to his mother's unreasonable requests. There may be other ways she is unreasonable as well. He is an adult and has decided that he is capable of making his own decisions about a basic thing like how much food he eats at a meal. Comment 3. NTA. Just curious, did your mom grow up food insecure? It sounds like she has a very unhealthy relationship with food, possibly an eating disorder.